start. Oh, hi. Today is a brand new day. What day is it today? It is, oh, what day is it today?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
29th of July, we're out of time and space.
April, it's Wednesday today. Is it? Oh, yes, it is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. And you know, every Wednesday we have problems, isn't it? Every Wednesday when we try to Zoom, we always have a communication problem.
Yeah,
it's amazing because I tried to contact you and you were busy, very busy. And today we have a fabulous person from Austria, and it's Anna Rosa, but I can't pronounce the second name because it means silver. So I'll introduce Anna Rosa in a moment, and obviously you all know April. I've introduced her as
just say a Welsh mystic. That's easier.
Oh, a Welsh mystic who's travelled to over 40 countries she's been to, so she knows everywhere. But have you been to Austria?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
You've been to Austria.
I have.
But we oh no, I haven't been to Austria. No, I've been to Switzerland, but not Austria. So today is what we're going to talk about today is, first of all, I'd like to say my UFO conference is on the 5th of June next year. We haven't decided on a venue yet because of COVID, but it'll be the 5th of June, 2021 in Newport Gwent. So if anyone is interested, please Google Eventbrite UFO conference and you'll find us, or leave a message down on our YouTube channel. This is Newportal TV channel, isn't it?
Newportal TV.
Newportal TV, but we're from Newport Gwent, South Wales, UK. So today we've got a very important guest, and she's going to tell us a lot about things we don't know about. So Anna Rosa, the floor is yours. So maybe if you could tell us something about yourself and what you would like to talk about, that'd be great.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm a very apparently normal person. I was born in London with an Italian mother and a Czech father. My father was a refugee, and my mother went over after the war. And I grew up in London, in West London, and I moved to Italy when I was 18. And I married very young, had 2 children. Then after that, I separated, and it was like the moment your personal life is going downhill, your spiritual life starts accelerating again. I spent 9 years going around quite a lot, doing many different things. And after 9 years of being single, I met my present husband, and we married. We got engaged very soon after, 1 week after we met, and and we married within 6 months, and we sold everything.
What was it about it that was different? I'd like to know what was it that you found and that you got attracted so quickly?
Well, to be honest, it's a really, when I always say the more you're on that spiritual path and you get to those crossroads where you have to go one way or the other, the more in sync you are with your heart and your inner self or your inner voice, the more you have to follow that voice, even if it makes you do very irrational things. And to be quite honest, there was part of me was saying, oh, you're completely crazy. Because I really was at a time of my life where I was quite happy being on my own. I didn't feel the desire to have a partner. But he just sort of dropped into my life at that moment that I was thinking about returning to the UK, and it just happened. It was just very, very quick. I can't say it was a physical attraction, but it was an inner knowing that that person was right for me. And my mind was telling me, you're completely nuts. What are you getting yourself into, girl? And there was a part of me saying, be quiet, stay calm. This is the one. And I got all the confirmation. I had actually been told that I would meet my soulmate at the age of 46, which from the Indian Nadi Leaves as well.
Yeah.
I had an experience where I actually went there and I had the recording, which I'd lost for 8 years. And then when I met him, I found it and listened, and it actually said, you know, I would meet my soulmate at that age.
Wow.
So
wow.
It wasn't a physical attraction. It was like
No,
you had a
no,
bond. You had a bond with him.
It was the heart. It was something that came from the heart. In fact, when he actually gave me his hand the first time, I mean, I didn't know anything about him. I just thought, oh, he's older than me, you know, because he is 10 years older than me. And I looked a lot younger at the time because my hair was still being coloured. And but I must admit, when I held his, I knew he was somebody special and interesting. But my mind played a lot of games on me, and it really it could have actually thrown me off seat, but it was the best decision I ever made.
So what did he say to you the first time? Is that a secret? How did you know he was the one?
No, actually, well, my path has very, very much been with Sai Baba, and my relationship with Sai Baba was always within. It wasn't the physical, although I went to the ashram many times. But I was in a moment in my life that I knew I was ready for another change. I could feel it coming. So I sat down and I wrote a letter to Sai Baba, which I gave to a friend. And in this letter, I said to him, I don't mind doing your work as a light worker because I use my hands. I don't mind doing it for you, but if you want me to do this, it has to be a service which is free of charge. And so you have to put me in a situation I don't work anymore. I also wrote in this letter that I would be ready for a partner, but it would have to be the right partner. Somebody who would incite me and inspire me to grow spiritually in harmony, without any disharmony. You have to be specific when you ask for things. And so I wrote a few little requests, and I said, in fact, I would like an angel. My husband's name is Gabriele, so he's an archangel.
My daughter's name is Gabrielle, but wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
So when this letter got to India, the person who took it there was called in for an interview, and they literally took my letter straight away. And from that moment, on that date, the synchronicities that started to organize the meeting with my husband started. And I met him in August the first time, the end of August, on a boat trip. There's an island in Venice in the lagoon called St. Francis of the Desert, where you can go on spiritual retreats. We had a boat trip, and on this boat trip, I actually met all the other people on this boat trip, but they were going to cancel it because of bad weather. And so the boat wasn't a traditional fishing boat. It was a boat with a cabin called Sirio.
Wow.
That says it all.
I love it. I love it. So, Anna, tell us a little bit more about the Nadi leaves, because apparently they're extremely accurate. They can even foretell when you die, can't they? when you marry, your siblings, the the date of a marriage or a death. I know they're very exact, but I know you also have to find the right reader. So how did you find the right person?
Well, when at the time there was a guy in Bangalore who did them, and a number of people who were going to see Sai Baba were actually going there. And one or two were coming up to me, oh, I had this incredible experience. You have no idea what they've told me. It was absolutely phenomenal. And although I am open-minded, I do not let predictions influence me. I let events happen, because I think that if you do have predictions, they can actually condition you towards that end. And I think this is for people who do readings. They have to be very careful karmically how they can influence the person who's in front of them, because we have a karmic responsibility as well. And I think that's the first thing. So I take, as my mother would have said, I take things with a pinch of salt. On my second trip to India, I was always going with the Italians, because I was living in Italy and I ended up being the translator for a lot of them. And so a group of Italians said, can you organize, I'll give you the telephone number, we all go and see the Nadi, they called him, and we all go get our Nadi leaves done. So I said, okay.
So
and
what are they? Sorry to ask, but what are they? Are they leaves?
So the Nadi leaves are a whole library. They're different ones in different parts of India.
You're reading from it's a different way of
palm leaves. They were given by the rishis to be read at a certain point to a certain person in that moment in time. And they've been transcribed from all these rishis to the people who look after these libraries. The most famous one is in Chennai, apparently, and I know that they are doing online readings, which seem to be quite precise. I think they're talking about €350 to do it online without going to India. But I think if you go personally, it's a different experience. But there is one thing they do say, that you only get to go to Shukanadi if you're destined to go. So I had a group of about 12 people who all wanted to go, and I was calling every week from England or from Italy or wherever I was, trying to make an appointment, and they said, no, we are fully booked, we are fully booked, we are fully booked. So even when I got to India, and I stayed there almost 2 months, I started to call up the office in Bangalore every morning. Is Shukanadi there? Can we have an appointment? No appointments, ma'am. No appointments, ma'am.
So you can do this online now? Can you?
There is a way of doing it online.
And how do you spell that? How do you spell the leaves?
Some people call it the Shukanadi or the Nadi Shastra or the Nadi leaves.
How do you spell that?
Nadi.
Yeah,
Nadi.
There's a really good film on YouTube. It's only been released about 8 weeks ago, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah. I only watched it this week. How bizarre is that?
Ready to know.
Isn't that strange?
Is it about a young girl?
No. It's about a psychic medium. He's quite well known. I think I've got it on here somewhere. And it's about his journey to India. And I think he went to Chennai.
Yeah, the one in Chennai is meant to be the most detailed, but they are in other parts of India. But I went to the one in Bangalore.
Yeah. hang on a minute.
Which were most of the people who went to the Sai Baba ashram went to the one in Bangalore because it was, but you only ever got to him if you were destined to go.
Okay.
So I was in the ashram calling up every morning. I had my
Anna Rosa, can I ask you, because you said you wrote a letter to Sai Baba, can you still do that now, although he's passed on? Can you still write a letter to the ashram? Wishes and so on?
Writing letters is like when you write any request. I always say to head office.
Yeah.
But it's actually an invocation that you do. But when you actually put it materially in writing, like when you do a ritual, you're making a request. So I mean, personally, at the moment I do not think. I think if you wrote a letter and put it on any place that for you is sacred in your house.
Oh right, he'll listen.
Oh yeah.
Whoever. Okay, that's a good tip. So that's a good tip. Yeah.
Was one of the interview more than the actual interview. Although I was very close, I saw him do miracles, and I can assure you, I've had people who've very close to me who've had absolute miracles. But going back to the Nadi Leaves, I think we should keep on to one subject. It's I was having all my lovely experiences, and one by one, all the people in the group were left before me. I was the only one who was staying so long. So I was on my way back. I got with a taxi in Bangalore, and the taxi driver turned around and said to me, "Have you been to Shukanadi, ma'am?" And I said, "Oh no, he's always fully booked. I've been trying to call for more than 6 months." So he said, "Have you got his phone number?" I said, "Yeah." Gave him the phone number. He called up. He said, "He has time for one more person." I had the whole afternoon in Bangalore doing nothing, waiting for a flight. So I had time to go shopping, and they had a group of people who were there, and I was the last person he saw. So I went in, the taxi driver waited outside in this sort of office, very strange looking, very sparse office with a desk. And this old Indian guy came out and he asked me my date of birth, that's all. And he went in and came out with a pack of palm leaves that were all tied with a string. And he started to talk to me about my parents. He told me one of my parents was from a more southern European country, but my father was from an Eastern European country. He said they met, and I was born in England. He specified where I was born. He knew nothing about me. The one thing is that he had one of those old cassette recorders, which was very wonky, and he asked me, "Do you want to take notes or I do the cassette?" So he did a cassette for me. And he told me many things I already knew about past life, which I'd already seen. But he also said to me one or two specific things about past life. One in particular really hit me because I actually had confirmation. When I was young, I always used to like the Czech name for John, which was Jan, because I grew up and a lot of my friends were from the Czech community. And I had this sympathy for the name, not from any person. And when my father died, a friend of ours does genealogy. And he said, "Oh, it's impossible for me to do it in Czech Republic because I'd need someone to do the translating. But I think if, you could try." And I said, "Look, I'd very much like to have my genealogy, but I'm not going to go out and spend money on it when I might not even find out anything. The past is the past. If it's destined to come to me, it will. So what happened? I went to in India in 2001. The man said to me, "You were once a doctor with flowers. You were very good healing, but also working with botany, with flowers, writing about flowers. And you had a place with a big garden working where you made it like a sanctuary for people to go and heal themselves. And you even published some writings, very important writings about flowers." So, and he said, "This place is probably now Germany. Maybe I get Germany." So my father died in 2012, and I think in 2000, two or 3 years after, my brother and I it was my brother's 60th birthday, and he wanted me to go with him on holiday. He wanted to go to Cuba. And I said, "Look, I don't want to go very far. I've been traveling enough. Let's go and see where Dad was born," because I'd only ever been to his village once. Because during the Cold War, it wasn't possible to go back to Czech Republic. So we were undecided about it. And that evening, I received an email from the Czech Anglo Society in London, where they'd actually put online the story of my father, which I'd written as a eulogy. And they wrote, "I'm forwarding you this email because I have a Vera Strabisky who is trying to get in contact with you. So I would like to forward you the email." So I looked at the email, and she said, "My name is Vera Strabisky. Her birthday is the 24th of February, mine's the 25th. I think we are distant cousins. I have a passion for genealogy, and I have the genealogy of your family back to 1600.
Oh, lucky you.
So, so I went to Prague and I met her. And on the second occasion, I was actually given, she always updates. And I've taken photographs that I found in my mother's house of my grandfather's family.
Mm.
But the interesting thing, I went straight to one name, Jan. The dating was sort of late 1890s, which was what Nadi told me. And she said to me, "This man was very interesting. He was like a botanist doing flowers, and he opened his house like a big sanctuary where people would go to heal. And I found some of his writings in the archives. And apparently it was in the Sudetenland, which was the part of the Czech Republic, which was Germany. So he got that. That was so spot on. It was unbelievable. In fact, when she told me that I had goosebumps.
I can imagine, because you always think it's your ancestors, but it never crossed my mind that it could be us living now who actually had those lives. Isn't it amazing?
Well,
that is like,
yeah, I have a friend of mine who's a light
out
worker
of this
who does
world.
therapy. She always says,
Thinking.
this body is like a space suit made out of recycled DNA.
God, I never ever crossed my mind that our ancestors could be us, me. Like, has it ever crossed your mind?
I think we've become
Has it ever crossed your mind, April?
Yeah. It makes sense because astrologically, there's actually a book by Liz Green.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember which one it is. It's one of her books, and she looks at family astrology charts going down. Yeah, your grandparents, your great-grandparents.
Yeah.
And you can see repeated patterns. You know, they keep coming, the same.
Well, having seen my astrology on my father's side and having found out in detail everything in my father's astrology, my father's family, they were all the women, a lot of them with my name Anna, because I'm named after my grandmother. They were all divorced, men and women, even in those times. My grandmother was divorced. My grandfather had been married before. My great-grandfather had been married before. Because I didn't realize this because they had children out. They had maybe one child with one sibling, then the mother would die of childbirth. So going back quite a few generations, and children out of wedlock, you know, that were. So I would say my brother's divorced. I'm divorced. I can't pronounce my children are, you know, they're okay. So that's. But as far as I'm concerned, when I look back, I think my children are actually breaking the karmic wheel. They're not following the karma in their families or in my family, and they're doing things differently. So I do think it can be that we do have it in us, but we can actually break the karma in a family.
How would you do that? How would you
I also got all the. I was given all the. I was actually given all the genealogy of my mother's family as well. Strangely enough, so I got the both.
Very, very lucky, Anna, because my mother has written several books about our genealogy, and it's taken her a lifetime of research to find it all. So, you know, how blessed you were to just have it given.
Oh, and
to
in
you.
a different in different languages, in a different country, it's just unbelievable. In fact, my cousin, she's a distant cousin, and she actually only got the surname through her great grandmother, because her great grandmother had a child, and then with one person, didn't marry, but then married another name, but the first child from which she descended didn't adopt the name of the husband, so that's why she has my surname. So I do think it is very interesting, because I was able to really have an example, which I also had from the Nadi Leaves. The Nadis also told me exactly about everything about when I got married, that I would be working with food, because my first husband had a restaurant. So there was a very, very specific detail the whole way through. I was told that I would bring groups to India, which I did. And I was told that I would meet about the future, I'd forgotten everything. But when I met my husband, I went back to my old flat and found the cassette after 9 years.
Wow.
I put in the recorder. It was such a wonky tape, it was completely eaten up, but I managed to listen to it, and it did say that I would meet my soulmate at 46. I wasn't told when I would die, but I was told I would have a long life, and that I was near Sai Baba because I was near Shirdi Baba. And a lot of things that I was told about my past, I could actually relate to it.
Were you given specific remedies, Anna? Because they give remedies, don't they? Sometimes. Were you given any specific remedies or anything to?
I was given a mantra, which actually is one of the mantras that my husband always likes. So, but I've never sort of felt that was my. I always do the Gayatri mantra or Om Namah Shivaya.
Oh, right. Okay.
One of the mantras.
We've only got 10 minutes left, Anna Rosa. We've only got 10 minutes. So
can I just say the name of the film if anybody wants to watch it? It's on Amazon Prime. It's all about the Nadi Leaves, which
that's good. Yeah.
It's also on YouTube. It's, as I said, a relatively new film, And it's the mystic journey to India, the key to spiritual awakening and fixing fate. And it's by Craig Hamilton Parker. And it's about his journey going to have his leaves read. And you can see what they look like, everything, where he goes.
Excellent. Gosh, what coincidence.
I
So
know.
it is. I've never heard of the Nada leaves. So something new today. You just like, and it can tell you your life story. Isn't that amazing? That
it tells you also a lot of it tells you the outline of some past lives, so you know why you're going in this direction. That it did give me a lot of confirmation.
Names as well.
But I think you're only meant. I mean, you're only meant to go if you're meant to go.
But you said you can have a reading online now, so maybe.
Well, I do have a friend who's done it. I've heard two people that I know that they've done it, and I could get you the contact details if you needed it.
Yeah, that would be good, because then we could have it down below the video. So if anyone is interested, especially in this day and age, people might want to know what their future is.
And you've got to make sure that you go to somebody reputable, because apparently there's a lot of.
Oh gosh, there'll be a lot of scammers. So
not reputable. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you find out a reputable one?
A lot of the ones out there I wouldn't trust. And also, I do think when you go there, you really have to take it as it comes, because if they tell you something, you can be very conditioned as well. They don't tell you what you're meant to do. They'll tell you what your path is, and certain aspects to put you in the direction. But I think we all have to discover our own path at the right time. It's far too easy to say you have to do this, otherwise it's too easy.
Yeah,
we have to do the spiritual work on ourselves.
So Anna Rosa, tell us what your day ritual is.
My daily ritual? I get up, I have breakfast. No, actually I wake up.
What time do you wake up then? What time?
Very early. I usually get out of bed at 7, but I'm awake at 6. I wake up, I do my mantras in my room. I go down, I have breakfast. A lot of usually it depends on the season. This time of year, my meditation is in practical things of doing gardening. So this morning I got up very early. I was a good girl today. I got up early. I did about an hour and a half of weeding. I completely turned over part of my vegetable beds, and praying. I put all my new plants and seedlings in. Then I went I went cycling down to the local spa swimming pool. I did 1 hour swimming, and then I came. I go on an e-bike, but I do different things. I go mushroom picking. I live a very quiet, peaceful life. I do a lot of things. I do communicate with a lot of people. But for me, even this period with COVID, it was all about going within.
And what have you learned from going within?
I think that everything is perfect the way it is. And we really have to accept what is happening around us. And the most important thing is to be as positive as you can. I truly believe in the power of prayer. And so when I say I mantra, I pray, but my prayer is a dialogue with head office, in which I do ask for help from above, from the heavens.
Yeah. Is there a short prayer that you could give us, like something that people can say, or a mantra that people can?
I think
do?
I think everybody has to find. I mean, when I was doing the healing work, when doing that, I always said to people, you have to find what is right for you. Everybody has a different way of praying. I feel more at home with mantras, but I have been going back to the Our Father or the Great Invocation. I do like,
Oh
because
yes,
I think
that's a
that's
good
very
one.
much the Great Invocation for this epic moment of time is something which I feel is fundamentally a truth and something that we should all be saying. And
Yeah, I'd
otherwise,
forgotten about that one. I used to say it regularly, but maybe April, you could put it down below the video so that, yeah.
the Great
So
Invocation,
the Great
or I
Invocation,
mean,
yes.
I like the easiest is Om Namah Shivaya, which is, you know, I surrender myself to the god Shiva, which is the god of destruction, but to rebuild as well. So I think this is very much the situation that we are in at the moment.
Yeah, it's a reset, isn't it? Reset for everyone. So I think that's
we
a
have
good
to
one.
be positive. It doesn't mean that we have to remain inert. I mean, did you read the message that I sent you last week?
Oh God, yes, yes.
I think that was I'll send, if you could put up on your website, because I think it's a very clear message about going within and understanding what your role is in this moment.
What do you see our future to be? What do you see our future?
I think we may be in for a bumpy ride, but I do think, all the Vedic texts, and Sai Baba would always talk about the golden era. And I somehow, when I feel those moments of perplexity, I wouldn't say complete darkness about what we're going through at the moment, I actually do say to myself that something better and bigger is coming. And I think we will have the opportunity to become consciously aware. I think we'll be a bit like the apostles after Pentecost, with the tongues of fire of a solar flare activating the dormant part of our brains, and then we'll all be in harmony and be able to be more intuitive and telepathic. And therefore, when there is such an openness from mind to mind and heart to heart, then I think the truth will be so evident.
Yeah, so you think we are, do you think we're part alien, that, you know, that Earth was a place where aliens came, and so we've got alien DNA?
I think we were generated by our star brothers, yes.
And have you seen a UFO yourself? Have you seen one?
Yes, many. Also here in this area, we've seen many. Sorry, this is a mountain.
Anna, do you live? Which area?
I live I'm actually opposite. I'm in Curtin or Carinthia, which is on the other side of the Caravancan, where they have the Triglav National Park in Slovenia. And I'm only 20 minutes from the Italian border. There are a lot of sightings around here. I have seen them. My neighbours have confirmed that they've